Hey everybody, it's been a while since I've been in the shop, but I'm back and I'm working today on putting in or building a new motor for Sparky. The current motor is the original 40 horse from 1962, and it's kind of unsafe to drive on today's highways. Especially around here, there's a lot of traffic and it's always hair raising pulling out. So I'm planning to build something. I had picked up a motor off of Craigslist right after I bought Sparky, and it was a 1600, and it had you can see. I'll show you a picture. Extractor exhaust, dual port heads, and whatnot. I got it from almost stole it as it was abandoned in a storage unit, and the unit manager had it listed. All he knew it was a Volkswagen motor. He didn't know anything about it, and it wouldn't turn over. It would move a little bit and then lock up. So I got it at a steal, and so it had. I took it apart, and some parts are going to be usable, some are not. And it had some brand new pistons and cylinders in it, and it has brand new dual port heads that were on there, but unfortunately the guy that owned it, I guess, had left it out in the weather, and water going in the extractor exhaust filled up one of the cylinders, rusted it out, and gooped up the head. And the block was already line bore 20 over, and but it wasn't a fresh line bore when he rebuilt it, because it looks like he went through there with a flap wheel to clean it up, which is a no-no. And there were a lot of other things that would have been a problem. So anyhow, I did harvest a few parts off it. I'm going to be able to rebuild the heads and use those. And the block, I'm going to set aside. We don't have any local machine shops that do line boring, so I might send it out someday. But I did pick up on Craigslist again from a Volkswagen mechanic about 50 miles from here, at another block. It's an block, which is a little bit newer, 1973-ish vintage. It's been line bored 20 over, and it's a fresh line bore, so I could use that. And but I'm going to bore out the block to take 90.5 millimeter pistons, and I'll be showing you how I do that on my Bridgeport. And later I'll also be doing the heads and boring them out as well, and doing a little bit of head work on that. But let me show you what I've got and what I'm doing. So I've been gathering up some parts, a lot of them, from a lot of different places. For some reason, there's supply chain problems, so it's, a lot of stuff I'm having to wait a long time for, can't even find. Like I'm waiting on head studs, I can't get them yet. But I'm going back with a 69 millimeter crank. I did spend a little bit extra just in case I want to, bump it up later. It's a nice chrome moly crank and chrome moly light flywheel, and I'm going with a Scat C25 cam, something mild. And then of course I've got from AA, the pistons and cylinders 90.5, and I-beam rods and solid rocker shafts, and these are the heads that, after I cleaned them up a little bit, they're in pretty good shape. After I cleaned them up, there was a lot of rust in them, but they cleaned up nice. I'm going to do a little porting on those, and I of course have to CC them and possibly fly cut the cylinder of the heads here. This is the block that I got off of Craigslist. I paid more for this block than I did for that whole other motor. Used to be able to buy these really cheap, now not so much. But it's like I said, it's a 1973 block. I thought there was something wrong with it when I saw this hole back here. I thought I was going to have to do something, but in further investigation, that's how they did these. So it takes one of the long studs to go into this hole for number 3 cylinder. I don't know the reasoning for that, but it's got everything else looks good. It's already been line bored 20 over. But let me show you how I'm going to do this on the mill, and I'm going to bore these out and also deck it. I'm probably going to take like 10 thousandths after it cleans up and try to make them all match, and then I'll probably have to put barrel shims in it to get my deck height correct. All right, I've got the engine case clamped down to the table on my Bridgeport. I've got a boring head in here. It's an oldie, and a little boring bar with a carbide insert. I have to clamp it down with riser blocks because of the case studs, so they clear. I do both sides with the same setup because I'm going to reference the deck height from that, and I want to make sure they're both exactly the same. I'm just going to indicate the existing cylinder borers on both of these locations. I'm going to 0, 1 on the digital readout, zeroed out on X and Y, and then move over and indicate the other one and write down those numbers. That way I can go back and forth between them without losing my cylinder centers. This is the indicator clamp I have. It actually will bolt, it clamps onto the nose of the Bridgeport spindle above the, right below the quill, without taking out the boring bar setup. And then from here I could drop it down and zero it out. I'll be back in a minute after I do that. This boring head has a like a micrometer adjustment on the end. There's a dovetail slide here, and loosen up this screw here. This screw here. That's what tightens the gib to make sure it doesn't shatter, and it'll move the cutter tip in or out. It's a direct read, so if you take 20 thousandths off on the dial, it takes 40 thousandths off on the diameter. So I'm gonna take probably about 30 thousandths on the cutter per pass until I get to my size. This milling machine has a power feed on the quill. You can see this moving here. It's got different feed selector, and you engage it by pulling this lever out. When the quill comes down and hits the stop, it automatically disengages. Okay, I've got that one bored out correctly. I made it 10 thousandths of an inch oversized compared to the bottom spigot of the cylinder, which is what they recommend in some of the Volkswagen performance books. Anyhow, nice fit. I'm gonna bore out the other one, and then I'm gonna deck it. Before I do though, I wanna show you something. This is a magnesium case, and you gotta be careful with magnesium. It's very, well, it is flammable. It will catch fire, and you cannot put it out with water. It'll make actually hydrogen gas if you do, and it'll just make things worse. Let me show you what it does. It burns very intensely. Like I said, you cannot put it, you just gotta let it burn out. That was something we always had to be aware of in the machine shop when I worked in aerospace machining. You just gotta let it burn. You gotta be careful with it. And like I said, if you put water on it, it's almost explosive. Okay, I have the bores finished, And now I've moved the cutter out to deck the case. I'm going to clean up the first one here and then go down to my reference point for like a 10/1000th cut. Okay, I have the case board. Everything came out good. Have both case halves decked, and I still have to do some other deburring, and I got to pull the galley plugs out of the block to clean everything. Got to modify the case for a full flow oil system, and then it should be ready for assembly. One of the nice things about having the YouTube channel, I've developed a lot of close friends. Some that we've started our channels at the same time and supported and encouraged each other. One of those, a friend in Tasmania, Andy Gray, he has Gray Builds is the name of his channel. He does beer and tool review, which you think would be an unsafe combination, but it works out. Anyhow, go check out his channel. I'll put a link in the description for his channel. He just moved to Tasmania from I think the Northern Territory. I may be wrong on that, but he's doing a lot of homestead stuff. He just built a workshop. He's going to be doing some modifications on some vehicles and so forth. But check him out. He also sent me a beer koozie, which I'll use. Thank you. Also, I have a friend in Washington State, Mike, at Desert Rat 2000. We've been following each other from the beginning. He's got a couple old Chevy trucks and a Mannix dune buggy. He's always welding up something, does a lot of TIG welding. His TIG welding's really improved since he started the channel, and he's always modifying or fixing something. Very interesting, good guy too. He sent me a nice letter, and he was nice enough to send me some MIG welding pliers and a knife to cut it out with. But hey, thanks a lot, Mike. I'll be using these. A nice pair. I've never had one. I don't know why, but it will come in handy. Thanks a lot. I'll put a link in the description for Desert Rat 2000. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. When we come back, we'll probably be working on the 1950 Ford F1 again, and of course, we'll be getting on the Volkswagen engine build here as it progresses. But thanks for watching. Come back again. Thanks.